Hello and welcome to this week's episode of your Power Packed Podlets. My name is Rachel and I'm your host for these mini magical journeys together. This week, let's talk about how different it feels and how different it is building a business as a woman versus a man. This is such an important conversation for us to be having, not just once, but so many times, because it's not just one element when it comes to being a woman versus a man that's different, right? And we've grown up learning things in more of a male cyclical way. And so there's probably a lot of things when it comes to, whether you've got a business already or you're thinking of setting one up, that you're unconsciously considering doing it in a way that works for a male cycle, a male psyche, male emotional processing versus female. This isn't about pointing the finger and saying one thing is bad and the other thing is good. It's understanding how we've learned a lot of things through the educational system and society. And have you had this conversation before? If not, how exciting that you're here. Have you looked at your business, like building the things that you're doing and understanding your superpowers as a woman and how to use them to your advantage when it comes to your creativity, your intuition, and your cycles versus trying to fit into the male mold? Because when we try to fit into the male mold, this is where we find there are moments that things are going really well, and then there are times we feel exhausted. We lose creativity, we feel we're burning out. And that's the moment when we're not working with our cycle. In today's episode, let's talk about a really important factor. And this is going to make such a difference for you. We have certain biological needs, men and women. And as women, for us to drop into our feminine, to be connected to our feminine, to our superpowers, we have the capacity to birth projects, to birth ideas, to be in creative flow. And when we do this, when we trust ourselves, when we trust the process, this is when we create from a place of real joy. When we're disconnected from that, we start to get really anxious, we get overwhelmed, and we go into a fight or flight response. For some of you, it's that you procrastinate and you don't get things done. For some of you, it's you burn out because you're overdoing. And some of you, you just run away. You busy yourself with 1,000 things so as not to do the important stuff that actually moves you forwards. And it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's when you understand your basic biological needs and what's going to make the difference, and you can actually tend to those. And it's not that we wake up one morning and we change everything that we're doing on our business so it works for us as women. It's a gradual unfolding. So don't worry about rushing this process. And let's begin with one of the really important ones, which is understanding the importance of safety and certainty. So of all of the biological needs, so this is something that runs in your biology. It's something tribal. It's like ingrained into like your cells. It's also about the survival of the cells of your being, because you're not just one living organism. You've got many in your body that are they want to multiply, they want to thrive. So it's also the calling of that nature of that life in you. There's certain requirements. And when you're building a business, you're playing consistently in the realms of uncertainty because you're running the risks, you're making the decisions, and you can't control the outcome. As much as you try, you can't control the outcome. And so you're consistently playing with uncertainty, with not knowing if things are going to go as you expect, not knowing if you're going to get the results that you want. And so having safety and certainty as core factors that are built into how you're building, this is going to help you stop going into like anxious, overwhelm, overdoing, or whatever fight, flight, or flight response happens for you. You know, when you're waking up in the morning, you're like, oh, my to-do list. And you can't actually enjoy running your business because you're lost in your to-do list. Or you keep putting off making big decisions or having conversations. And that's stopping you from moving forwards. And you keep like feeling that the weight of the guilt and the blaming yourself for not getting things done. It's because you're lacking safety and certainty. So what does this look like? Think of in a relationship between a man and a woman. We have relationships between many people, right? But let's talk about a relationship between a man and a woman. When a man is the safe container, when he's understands the role of the feminine and he creates the safe container, the woman can then drop into her feminine. She can soften into it. It's the same in your business. When you have the safety of the masculine structure, then you can drop into your feminine. So I'm going to pose this question to you, and then I'm going to make some suggestions, and you can go away and start applying this. What are the containers, the structures, and the systems that you put into place where you are not constantly in decision overwhelm? You're not waking up every day having to make decisions. Things are already set up in place so that you can drop into creativity. For me, it's a multitude of different things. I'm going to take you through a few of them. I have certain things that are non-questionables for me. It's not a decision, do I do it, do I not? One of my coaches calls them minimum baseline activities. It's what am I doing on a daily basis to move my business forwards? But I don't just have it with my business, I have it with my mental well-being, my physical well-being, and my spiritual well-being. I have my non-questionables. So I don't wake up in the morning and ask myself, should I go for a walk? I know I am. I don't wake up in the morning and ask myself, should I do these different things when it comes to my business? I am. I've built up the structure, the business model where I have rest, where I am not doing the things, and then the days where I am. And it's built around my cycles, not just hormonal cycles, emotional cycles, energetic cycles. Know thyself. Not only this, I have team and I have my coaches and mentors, the people I can turn to when I want a second opinion, when I want to brainstorm, when I want to discuss something, when I'm not getting the results that I'd hoped for, when I'm doubting, when I'm in a fight or flight response. I'm not doing anything in isolation. I've got the support systems in place. This for me was a huge turning point. The moment I decided to have non-circumstantial support, the masculine to my feminine, I stopped pushing in my business. As somebody who's pitta vata on the doshas, I was so much in my pitta because I was in my masculine, push, 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 do, do, do. And there was a lack of spark, there was lack of joy. There wasn't that space for creativity and learning and play. And just by having that structure, that container, the masculine safety, I was able to find that again. But not only that, once I was in the space, it required that I then show up and I lean into the structure. I lean into the safety. I allow myself to be held. Because as women, so often we're accustomed to holding everything ourselves, being the strong ones, the ones who can manage absolutely everything. And so sometimes it requires a bit of allowing ourselves to soften, allowing ourselves to be seen, to be vulnerable. And so sometimes that's been the work, to allow myself to be vulnerable. So I'll pose that question to you when it comes to your business. What are the structures, the systems, the masculine that you're putting in place so you can drop into your feminine?